Okay, how porn became the American dream. Oh, geez. Capitalism. Am I right, fellas?
Today, there's no better way to become rich, famous, and celebrated in modern culture than by making porn videos. Look at the porn stars from days gone by. They mostly ended up dead, addicted to drugs, or washed up on the back streets in downtown LA somewhere. Now look at Mia Khalifa. She's a multi-millionaire who hosted shows with NBA legends, sat front row at Paris and Milan fashion weeks.
Yeah, but didn't she also say take off all her stuff off the internet or she's gonna sue you or something, or she wants it to stop? And she regrets it, and then she cycles and says, like, like a couple months later, you just hear her saying, like, I feel so empowered, I was so blessed.
Modeled for Vivienne Westwood and Moschino, runs her own jewelry business, and has been interviewed by basically every major outlet on earth. She was a paralegal from a Lebanese family, and she didn't churn out film for years, she just claimed she made 11 of them over a few months. And within a few weeks of her debut, she was the #1 performer on the biggest adult site in the world, where she received death threats, was shunned from her religion, and her family stopped speaking to her.
ISIS was that?
I mean, I'm sorry, but did you not know what you were getting into?
After you?
I'm not allowed back in Lebanon. I was banned from—
Yeah, because it's a very strict religion. It's their fucking, like, their law, essentially. I do feel bad, but like to a certain point, like, did you not know that would happen?
In the Middle East, which is crazy because they're the ones who watch my videos the most.
Then she walked away from the industry forever after making just $12,000, or at least that's what she claimed.
You were paid a grand total of $12,000 US.
Well, it must have been worth it at the time if she was a paralegal. Maybe she wasn't making any money.
And yet you made millions and millions of dollars for both Bang Bros, the company that you worked with, and Pornhub, the aggregating site. How could that be?
She has hundreds of videos. Hey, Chad, how do you know that? Hey, how do you know that?
That's just how it is.
But between then and now, Mia Khalifa, like so many others, has used porn to become, in every sense of the word, famous. Not infamous, but legitimately famous, rubbing shoulders with A-listers and getting invited to their cocktail parties. Something huge happened in the world of adult content to create a pipeline to status and generational wealth. For Sarah Jo Chamoun, which is Mia's—
So I guess life isn't so hard when you're banned from Lebanon and your parents don't talk to you, huh?
real name, she grew up right alongside the internet, and more specifically at a turning point for the sex industry.
I mean, I'm a kid who grew up playing World of Warcraft and using dial-up internet and fixing the computer at home when it broke. Like, that was—
Did Mia Khalifa play WoW? Oh my god, I did not know that. What? I had no idea. Oh my god. Of course she was a horde player. Of course.
My job because I was of that generation. So I think that I've always had a knack for what I like to consume online, which in turn influenced how I like to be online.
Adult content back then was an analog affair, driven by VHS tapes, magazines, and adult video stores. The money was limited and controlled by the gatekeepers.
Yeah,
performers like Mia got paid—
It's essentially a big mafia pimp suit, yeah.
per scene with no way to self-publish or go independent. And like so many others, she was pulled off the streets of Miami by a random man who asked if she thought about modeling, suggesting she come down to a studio and take a look around. The studio was Bang Bros, one of the leading studios at the time.
It wasn't just, hey, do you want to come do porn? It was more so, oh, you're beautiful. Like, would you like to do some modeling? Oh, you know, you have a great body. Like, I think you'd be great in nude modeling. Things like that. And after I came in toward the studio, you know, it was very respectable. It was a gorgeous location. It was in Miami, in Doral, Florida. It was clean. Everyone who worked there was nice.
No, it's not obvious enough. They should have called it Caca Bros. Yo, Moon, thank you for the gifted sub. I appreciate it. With a 10.
Their cubicles were decorated with family photos, like it was nothing.
She signed the paperwork, came back the next day, filmed her first scene, and a month in, they put her in a hijab, which was incredibly controversial, but
Wait. So, hold on. You were taken aback? But did they put a gun to your head or what?
decisive for her career. She told the studio that the video was going to get her killed.
I verbatim told them, you guys are gonna get me killed.
And they said?
They just laughed.
She did it anyway, and after it premiered, the avalanche started.
Yeah,
Radical
I bet.
Islamic sympathizers hacked her Instagram and covered it in propaganda. They photoshopped a picture of her onto someone being beheaded.
That's
her family
fucked up.
disowned her.
They photoshopped a picture of me onto someone getting beheaded. And they said something along the lines of, you're next.
She
That's
quit less than a
fucked.
month later, but none of this blew over like she hoped it would, and she couldn't get back into regular employment.
I realized that I can never work a normal job again.
Bang Bros disputed her account of her career and her argument that they ripped her
When
off.
was she how old was she when she started? How old was Mia Khalifa when she started? I'm assuming 18, right? She was 21?
They eventually
She was
created a
21.
website dedicated to calling her out, called factspeakfiction.co, pushing back on her claims and stating that they paid her over $178,000. They even said she filmed before with a different studio under the name Mia Callista before Bang Bros, and that her entire
Callista,
narrative
World
was
of
just a
Warcraft.
total lie. She claimed she walked away from
why did it
adult
say that?
content
League
with
of
her head
Legends.
held high, but adult content hadn't walked away from her. So naturally, there was only one way to climb back up the ladder, and OnlyFans took over the entire industry at that exact
Hi,
moment.
Gigi.
When Mia joined OnlyFans in 2020, she framed it as a moral response to the Beirut port explosion that killed 218 people.
Guys, I'm gonna show my titties and it's gonna save all these people. That's gonna help with the money. I mean, it's better than no money. I suppose.
her home country. She publicly pledged to donate the first $100,000 she made on the platform.
That's nice.
In 2020, I decided to join OnlyFans after the Beirut blast. I made the decision to join OnlyFans and donate.
Yo, Dito, sing
if
the
I was able to
raid.
make $100,000, I am donating $100,000, and that's why I'm joining this platform.
It doesn't take a very high level of skepticism to wonder whether that was true or just ethical positioning. But either way, it clearly...
But doesn't OF have ties with, like, I don't want to misspeak, but I'm pretty sure that they were tied with the IDF. Yeah. Interesting.
worked out for her career. This is where Mia Khalifa
why
became
OF
the
didn't
bridge
do
between
anything
two
about it.
completely different worlds. The old world of adult content that chewed the old porn stars up and spat them out, leaving them in places like the tunnels under Las Vegas.
That's sad.
And then there's the new world of adult content that makes celebrity entrepreneurs.
And then people argue and say, "Oh, it doesn't bring mental illness. It's all about female empowerment." It's like, yeah, it's really beautiful seeing these women on the side of the street. I'm being facetious. Nobody deserves that. That's sad.
Let's take Sophie Rain. In 2022, she was a 19-year-old waitress barely covering her bills. She didn't come from an adult entertainment background, but OnlyFans was still
She's really
her
pretty,
exit.
yeah.
My sister was doing OnlyFans, and I was like, maybe I'll try it so I can get out of this serving job, because I was just serving. I was working literally every day, 9 to 5.
Restaurant?
It's called Papa Joe's. It was some Italian restaurant down in
Papa
Tampa.
Joe's.
But it was fun. Like, I loved it. I loved serving, but I just wasn't making money.
It all
Yeah.
kicked off with her infamous Spider-Man video.
Every time I was like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me. They're like, no, you're lying. It is. So I just kind of ran with it.
It wasn't even her, but she made about $95
Wait,
million
what?
in 3 years from a
What?
case of mistaken identity.
So in 3 years, how much have you made?
I think last time I checked, it was at $95 million.
Holy
Here's what really
Holy
happened.
fuck.
In September 2023, Sophie and her sister Sierra posted the Spider-Man themed photo set on their OnlyFans. Around the same time, another creator called Naomi, who happens to look like Sophie, filmed an explicit video in a skin-tight black Spider-Man suit. The internet saw the photo set and the explicit video and conflated the two. Millions of men became convinced Sophie had secretly leaked hardcore
So then she actually went with it because she said fuck it.
content. She clocked that it was free traffic and started dressing up as Spider-Man on TikTok to deliberately stoke the rumor. There is no real Sophie Rain Spider-Man video. The whole thing is a fantasy that lived in the minds of her audience. She also created scarcity around her content by describing herself as a virgin, though she backtracked on that a year later. I don't think people talk enough about how much these addictions can quietly affect your life, especially when it starts early in your life. It's one of those things that seems harmless at first, but
it's a double whammy too, because social media addiction and porn addiction go hand in hand.
Over time, it chips away at your focus, your discipline, and even your confidence. And the worst part is, most people try to fix it with willpower alone, which almost never works long term. You just end up stuck in the same loop. And that's why I want to talk to you about this. There's content blockers out there like our sponsor Quitter, which is an app designed to make quitting porn a lot more practical. Instead of relying on willpower, you just turn on the content blocker and it blocks all porn content from even reaching your phone in the first place. So you're not constantly fighting the urge, you're just removing the trigger. Once it's on, you don't have to think about it as it just works in the background. And it also tracks your progress, which is a big part of it. As you can see your streak stay consistent and you're doing it alongside thousands of other people going through the same thing. One of their best features is the panic button. If you ever feel the urge, you just hit it and it immediately redirects you and helps you kill that urge in the moment, which is usually the hardest
It's a guy's face pops up. Wait. Yeah, my urge has stopped because I saw your stupid face instead of boobies.
If you ever feel the urge, you just hit it and it immediately redirects you and helps you kill that urge in the moment, which is usually the hardest part, and it just handles it right there. If this is something you've been trying to get under control, this makes it a lot more structured. So make sure to hit the link in the description or pinned comment below, or scan the QR code on screen and download Quitter today. Use code MOON to try it out. Sophie said her content involves some level of nudity, which is probably understated, but she's definitely not out there doing what Bonnie Blue is doing, which
Dude, I have to say this. I think, in my opinion, this is a hot take here, chat. I think we've disrupted, like, the natural order of things. I think it was better when men worked and women stayed at home so they didn't feel pressured, and the economy is, like, part of it, obviously. I think it's a good thing for women to have, like, an idea of what, like, a real job is like, what having a boss is like, so they can empathize with the other sex more or whatever, right? Like, making a resume, getting rejected. But I also think it's gone way too far. Like, even Sophie Rain was like, yeah, I had a job, I liked it pretty fairly, but, you know, I wasn't making good money. This is all, like, basically just what leads up to this decision-making.
Epitomizes exactly what adult content has become, selling the fantasy of personal access to an attractive woman. Sophie now has 16 million Instagram followers. When she walks through a shopping mall in Miami, paparazzi camp outside to ask her about her rumored collab with Drake. The mansion she co-founded with 7 other OnlyFans creators was described in the mainstream press as the Gen Z version of the Playboy Mansion.
And it's like they groom these kids too.
She's constantly associated with big celebrity events. The industry has swallowed itself and given birth to something entirely new. A monetized intimacy economy where the content can be softer, the stigma lower, and the money exponentially bigger. All while the sexual acts are actually increasingly optional.
What the f are the guys paying for at that point?
It's curiosity, and then also
with that specific person.
Men have an insane urge compared to women to satiate their mental curiosity. Yeah, like, women are more emotional in the sense that when they want sex, they want to fantasize. There's a slow build up to it. With men, it's like, I don't want to say it's instant gratification, but like when you see a pair of tits, you like go like, damn, I'm horny now. At least like most guys are like that, right?
Yeah, I guess, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because you can sit there and have a conversation with me. Yeah. You know, like you don't get that just from going on Instagram.
Mia got paid $12,000 for explicit permanent graphic content. Sophie got paid $1.4 million by one man for messages. And that was back in 2020.
What? One dude?
25. It's over $6 million now.
With one dude? No, you've got to be joking.
Want to say last time
Man, it's apt that we were just talking about this like a couple of hours ago about how when you see how much money these fucking chicks make, you're like, man, what the fuck am I doing?
I checked, it was like 1.4.
Wow.
But that was like, that's of all
My
time.
God.
That's of all time. And I've been doing this for going on 2 years now.
Who the f is this guy? That's got to be like a fucking Middle Eastern prince.
Like a prince.
I can't say much obviously because I'm not gonna air anyone's shit out.
Yeah.
But he's a good guy.
Rightly or wrongly, it still destroyed aspects of her social life. Her parents both got fired, and she became their provider.
Right now, like I'm supporting them completely. They both got fired from their jobs because of me. So I feel.
I mean, at least she didn't just throw him to the dirt. That's good on her, I guess.
A little bit of guilt in that.
But at least
I feel like I need to provide for them also because my fault, I guess.
Sophie Rain built an.
I guess. What do you mean? I guess. Okay, that was weird. That's fucking weird. I guess. What do you mean? I have to. Yes.
Empire on a video that never existed.
What is that phrasing? That's so weird.
A young actress called Chloe Cherry ran the inverse strategy.
How did she cause that? She posted her public. Everybody knows her at work. She made it a public thing.
For the same result. She'd moved to Miami the week she turned 18 to do adult content, and spent the next few years becoming one of the most watched performers on Pornhub. Then during lockdown, she filmed a pornographic parody of HBO's teen drama Euphoria. Not long after, the real creator of the genuine Euphoria emailed her asking her to audition for the show. She got—
Wait. I didn't know that. They hired an actual actress? Like,
show. She got the part, again proving how can scaffold women to a new path in life. Within months of
she plays like a complete druggie too, it's crazy.
First episode airing, she'd walked New York and Milan Fashion Week, fronted a Versailles campaign, and starred in the music video for Charli XCX's 360. In just under a year, she went from being the most watched woman on a specific category to being a face the fashion industry was actively competing for. This isn't entirely new. 20 years before OnlyFans existed, a young LA socialite proved that a leaked sex tape didn't have to end a woman's career. It could actually build one. That woman was Kim Kardashian, one of the most widely known names on the planet. The promiscuity of people like herself and
we need to stop making whores insanely famous. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, Paris Hilton, Kim Kardashian, like all the people that like do these grody sex tapes and then they become famous for some reason. Why don't we make women famous that, like, I don't know, do cancer research or something? Like,
Hilton was creating entrepreneurs without going through the industry. It was classier, more refined, and more marketable. The Kardashian tape was filmed with her then boyfriend Ray J in 2003. It went public in February 2007. At the time, an explicit video of a young woman with no particular fame or career wasn't viewed as the norm like it might be today. When these tapes leaked, they were massive news stories, and the entertainment industry was paying very close attention. Because somewhere in the media frenzy that followed, someone in a boardroom ran the calculations. And the math said that what happened to Kim Kardashian could be converted with the right packaging into one of the most lucrative television deals of the decade. Keeping Up with the Kardashians premiered 8 months later and propelled the whole family to the center of—
So let me get this straight. This chick has sex with a celebrity and then that got leaked and then her entire family got famous off of it? Like they weren't famous before that? Man. We live in a society. I was not aware. I thought like one of them was like a celebrity and then this happened to her. Some of them were semi-famous, I guess, but like that was what catapulted them, huh?
Celebrity culture.
The husband was OJ's lawyer. Oh, interesting. If the glove don't fit, we must acquit.
Nearly a decade. Today, Kim Kardashian's worth roughly $1.7 billion, and the tape that kicked it all off is a mere footnote in her CV.
Would you be
not
where
that
you
guy
are
though? No, I know that guy was a
not
black man, wasn't it? The guy that said that. I'm just saying he's one of the lawyers.
You know, I think that's how I was definitely introduced to the world. It was a negative way.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I felt like I really had to work 10 times harder to get people to see the real me.
She's quite honest about impact, saying the worst part wasn't the humiliation itself, but having to explain the tape to her grandmother. She said,
"Oh, that's a bummer."
She was grateful her father had died 4 years earlier and didn't live to see it.
I had to explain that to my grandmother.
Oh,
so I think I was
that's a bummer.
And you're most glad you didn't have to explain it to
my father.
which is basically a premonition of how many OnlyFans models feel today. OnlyFans relies on publicity and self-promotion. You can't easily shoot scenes under an alias and hide them as a double life.
Foolish thing to say. Yeah, but what if grandma's asking questions? Your grandma's not a kid. She's gonna figure it out. I don't know.
What Kim had inadvertently proved is that attention itself is the asset, and you need to market yourself as a person.
I don't think it's that
Whatever
far-fetched,
generates
is
the
it?
attention is almost secondary. The market logic of modern porn rewards whatever generates the most clicks, and everything else is downstream of that rule, which is exactly why marketing stunts are getting more controversial and extreme. The Hall of Fame today looks more like an arms race where performers compete for a share of the audience's attention. Like in 2019 when Baldur sold jars of her own bath water for $35 each. She
and it was complete FOMO.
faked her own arrest with a Photoshop
was
Metropolitan
smart.
Police mugshot
Fucking
and briefly ran
insane
a account that
marketing.
turned out to be videos of two roosters. Her whole thing
And
was
then she actually did it, and it managed to backfire on her terribly as well. She started off doing, like, basically alluding to the fact that she's lewd, and then when she actually did it, it lost all of its mystique.
just absurdist performance art dressed up as sex work, and it made her one of the most famous e-girls on the internet. In 2021, a 17-year-old called Bad Barbie, who had become briefly famous on Dr. Phil for telling the audience to catch her outside, used her OnlyFans launch for weeks on Instagram. She then opened the account the day she turned 18 and made $1 million in 6 hours. Lil Tay would then follow in her footsteps years later. In May 2025, an Australian creator called Annie Knight hired a swingers club on the Gold Coast and had sex with 583 men in 6.
I don't think I've known 583 men in my entire life, from like start to finish. I'm not even joking. Like, I mean, like, don't, not like know of them, like maybe talk to them. I don't think I've talked to 583 men from like 0 to fucking now. Would you like to? That's not the point. How's that possible? I mean, what do you mean? She didn't know them either, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like, I don't think I've known 500 men in my life. she's banging them.
6 hours. She
It's
was then
insane.
hospitalized with
I don't think I
vaginal
have
bleeding
500
and posted
friends
a
on
hospital photo to
Facebook.
Instagram, captioned, "I guess 583 guys in a day isn't that
Yeah, we
good for your
talked about
body."
this.
In October 2024, the 23-year-old
Dude, you're
British model
Coochie,
called Lily
man.
Phillips invited 101 men into an Airbnb and had sex with all of them in a single day. She filmed it as a documentary.
I watched this and it was sad.
A clip of her crying afterwards, her friend's arm around her, got 200 million views in one tweet. She has then since faked a pregnancy, faked an arrest,
That's fucking cringe.
filmed a classroom
That's
roleplay
fucking
with
cringe.
18-year-olds, and announced
That's
she'd
gross.
be beating the existing world record by sleeping with 1,000 men in a day.
How do they prove that? Do they have like a World Guinness guy that like sits there and like watches and makes sure it's like the appropriate amount of like action going on? Is that how it works? God, I hope not. You know?
And then, of course, there's Bonnie Blue, who took the record of 1,057 men in 12 hours. She also faked a pregnancy and will risk arrest.
What is with them faking pregnancies, man? That's so weird. Like, I don't know, man. I had a friend growing up and she had a hard time, like, she had a mom that had a hard time getting pregnant because they wanted a second child. And, like, I'm not one to be, like, super... I'm not saying like parasocial. What's the word? I don't know. It's like a weird thing to fucking lie about because it degrades like the feeling of like girls like failing to get pregnant and shit. It's weird.
Transportation or practically anything to stay relevant. And somehow this has gotten her on the podcast circuit like all of these girls.
Well, yeah,
these
'cause they
stunts
pay them
echo
a
the
lot
much
of money.
wider trend across social media where AI slop and brain rot content dominate for their acute ability to hijack our
People
dopamine.
fetishize it?
Mr.
Yeah.
Beast, Sidemen, and
It's just
others
so
mastered
gross.
that formula with escalating challenges that became more and more and more outrageous,
Yes,
leaving
but it's with
nothing off the
sex.
table in the pursuit of attention. It's all pervasive, and adult entertainment
How tame were Mr. Beast videos like 5 years ago compared to now?
actually made a home in social media's algorithmic
Running out of
universe
ideas,
because
bro.
ramping up the shock value is so easy when it's someone's body. Behind all of these stunts is usually an incredibly well-engineered business that proves how much porn has transformed. They have staff, a logistics operation, and marketing budgets rivaling tech startups. Probably the biggest weapon they have in their marketing arsenal is those who oppose them.
It's all the Karens sat at home that are going to complain about me being here that are making me rich because they make it blow up. And then when they're sat at home complaining about it to their, their husbands, they're then wanting to come and subscribe.
Putting their self-destructive elements of the lifestyle aside for a moment, they're savvy operators who understand the algorithm, the incentives, and the market better than anyone. Sophie Rain's instinct to leverage a video that wasn't even...
I mean, she has a point. But at the same time, like, how many people are there actually, though?
Is annoyingly smart. Bonnie Blue will hang around any big influencer at the time, whether it be Andrew Tate or the Nelk Boys, as she knows doing so will keep the money pumping into her operation. Mia Khalifa found a way to make herself look innocent in front of mainstream audiences, and this is why culture had to stop ignoring them. Every magazine, podcast, and TV channel is starving for attention, and these women are sitting on more of it than anyone else in the room. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away, it just hands the traffic to whoever covers them instead.
That's why it also kind of works with, like, I want to say, like, bad publicity stunts or bad video games or bad movies, is that it attracts more people to, like, want to go watch your bad movie or whatever the fuck. Normies be weird, man? Nah, I think there's, like, people that hate goon to people, too. There are absolutely people that goon to say, like, I don't know, fucking... I don't know, to anybody, basically. Yeah, hate watching, hating and
becomes
gooning.
to platform them. Like when Bonnie Blue said this on UK daytime TV when anyone could have been watching.
You're like a Premiership footballer. You're balls.
I mean, I work with balls, so it's the same
There we go.
So, barely legal, 18-year-olds.
I can't stand that. That's so fucking gross and weird. And I don't give a fuck about people saying, like, oh, Alana, you're such a prude. Like, I'm a 30-year-old dude. If I was 17 again, I would bang this woman or whatever the fuck. It's like, no, it's still fucking weird. Sorry.
Because as I started my content, I realized it was not necessarily relatable to the average person. And I wanted to make my content relatable. I'm just a girl, I'm relatable, I'm sort of
just a girl.
Vibes.
You're just a girl that bangs 1,000 dudes?
People commented things like interviewing a prostitute at 10:35 a.m. is okay for family viewing? And how can they have this conversation on morning TV as if it's normal? Imagine if you were a kid watching that asking your parents who Bonnie Blue was
Bonnie Blue?
And what she meant by working with balls or switching to barely 18-year-olds. But there is another side far away from this very public layer that we've not yet explored. Because while the conversation has spent the last decade arguing about whether those women are empowered or exploited, two-dimensional or sophisticated, victims or villains, the really smart ones are those who built the industry. You can almost certainly picture some of the girls in this video. You know what Mia looks like, you know what Kim looks like, you'd recognize Bonnie Blue in a supermarket. These are some of the most visible people alive. The men who own the platforms they work on, however, are notoriously invisible.
We watched an entire documentary, or like a little mockumentary, YouTube video, and it explained how the people that own P-Hub, whatever, like the conglomerate of like a bunch of like porn sites, and all of them are completely anonymous. You don't even know where they live. You don't even know what they look like. Some of them don't even have names.
When Mia Khalifa was filming for Bang Bros in late 2014, Bang Bros was independent, but was soon rolled up into a vast internet empire backed by institutional cash and managed by faceless executives. The parent structure behind most of her distribution was a Canadian-operated conglomerate called
MindGeek. That's the company, and the guy that owns all of this is completely anonymous. Do you know what the owners of Walmart look like? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You know their names. Nobody really knows who the person who owns MindGeek.
Which owned Pornhub, RedTube, Brazzers, and several hundred other sites, all controlled through a network of shell companies across the world. One of its recent owners, a guy called Bernd Bergmair, wasn't known to the media or photographed in public until recently. MindGeek wasn't just built for the love of the game, it was backed with nearly $500 million from JP Morgan Chase, among other major investors, and weirdly, even Cornell University. Same institutional capital that owns stakes in Meta, ByteDance, and Google is also
because it makes a lot of fucking money. It's a lot of motherfucking money.
Indirectly exposed to the adult platforms and the companies that profit from them, which means ordinary people's retirements are, in very small and very diffuse ways, invested in the same economy that Bonnie Blue is helping to expand. OnlyFans is the next level.
God, maybe someone in chat has parents that have like investments. Maybe you could find out if your parents have some sort of tie to these companies or these shells, man. What if like you have $50 tied up in there somehow?
Bringing out the studios and making the girls do most, if not all, of the legwork. And when you look at what OnlyFans really is, it looks exactly.
Who pays for porn? Unironically, a lot of people. Otherwise, it wouldn't make billions of dollars, sir. Obviously, lots of dudes. You are a minority, chat. You're sitting here in chat being like, haha, I'm so smart. These people are paying for their corn. I'm just saying, chat, if you cast doubt and say, oh my god, there's no way that there's that many people that pay for this, why would it exist? It's like saying, why is McDonald's so popular? It's such crappy food. It's like, yeah, it's crap food, but clearly billions of people buy shit from them. It's FOMO or money laundering. It's not money laundering. There's so many people that pay for sex. Sex is the oldest profession in the world.
Like Amazon, Fiverr, or DoorDash.
100%.
Thousands of near-identical thumbnails of near-identical women doing near-identical poses, all fighting for the same attention, all undercutting each other on price, all promising more than the last one. It personifies the direction of today's tech industry. It's the gig economy with sex as the product, using a subscription model backed by viral marketing. On the top layer, the man who won't...
That's another thing that's gonna happen. I think AI is gonna completely just devastate this. Yeah, there's gonna be people who are like gonna be like actresses or whatever the fuck, and the AI is gonna take over.
OnlyFans until his death in March was worth $4.7 billion.
It's terrifying.
On the bottom layer, for every Sophie Rain, roughly 10,000 women upload content nobody is paying for, subsidizing the traffic that makes Sophie Rain possible, while the platform takes a big cut, routed through a holding company, and into a private equity deal being negotiated
Look at this business.
Valley, all to
this is
completely
Borpa.
our entire society and do untold damage to our culture because of this. What has been labeled as empowerment really involves giving someone on OnlyFans the ability to negotiate the terms of her own exploitation, take home a larger cut of it, and then call the result a business, which on the individual level looks like a meaningful improvement versus Mia Khalifa's situation in 2014. On the collective level,
well, I mean, again, it's from an economic standpoint. It's just it all just boils down to basically the corpos want everybody to be working. They want everybody of every gender to be working so that they have double the workforce to pull from. To underpay them. All the women, they want a girl boss and have these fucking office jobs that don't really do much. And I've seen it myself, how these jobs work. And when they become tired and reamed out, maybe some of the attractive ones, they get settled into OnlyFans and they make way more money. And again, it's not all of them. I'm sure it's just a percentage of a percentage, but they will inadvertently ruin their life by going to do OnlyFans, and then people... You are not gonna fucking believe this, but I know for a fact that there was a girl in my old job that did OF. Yeah. I know, unfucking believable, but I did know a girl, and she earned maybe like $100 a month, which again, $100 a month is not like terrible as like a little top off. She was never gonna quit her job to make money.
Built the most efficient content extraction machine in the history of the internet. Millions of women competing against each other.
I think the statistic is probably like 1 in 12 women are on OF or Fansly, or is it 1 in 8? In America, I mean, not all over the world, America.
Producing an unlimited library of material for a platform they don't own in exchange for a wage that, for most of them, works out to be less than minimum wage. The thing the industry
$180 a month. That chick made 100.
Figured out somewhere around 2016 is that you don't need to exploit anyone if you can get them to exploit themselves. You just need to build the infrastructure, take a cut of the door, and let the market do the rest. And those who become mainstream celebrities using as a gateway to something more, create something to aspire to.
But that's like a fever dream though. It's like the same thing as Twitch influencers. Twitch influencers don't. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say influencers. I hate that word, but that's what people use. But like Twitch streamers, people see you having like a couple of thousand viewers and they automatically think like, oh, I'm gonna make it. It's like the chance of you making it is so low. And branching out from being just a Twitch streamer to being like a YouTuber or a business owner is even multiplicatively less than that. Like, you getting enough money to invest into a fucking business and then going off and having your own business venture or being sponsored, that's like a fraction of a fraction on top of that.
Even though most will never make it.
Exactly. It's sad. It's sad. It is what it is. Again, I don't know what the answer is, to be honest. It's kind of crazy. Like, y'all can't be Alanas? Well, I mean, some could be, like, the next part. I mean, like, I have inspirations from other people that I, like, took inspiration from to become a streamer. Sure. VTubers. Was it most OF girls only make a few $100 or so? Yes, because they are either A, not attractive enough, or B, they don't have, like, a niche that people will want to pay for. They just show their butt, and it's like, in a sea of butts, your butt means nothing. Does that make sense? That's why, this is another example I can draw from, is that VTubers back in like 2019 from 2020, if you had a decent model, and I'm not talking like an amazing one, if you were there from the start, your chances exploded for you to be one of the bigger VTubers without even putting in a lot of effort, other than, you know, obviously getting a model done and streaming. Now to break through, you have to be basically like standing out in a sea of butts. Would YouTubers be ethical? They're more ethical and also more anonymous, so your family getting, you know, cut off from their jobs would be less so. Like less of a risk. A sea of holes, yeah. There's a lot of VTubers out there. There's a lot of buttholes too. What do you think was the key to your success on Twitch to set you apart from others? I don't know, man. I just watched YouTube videos about gaming, and then I just started talking more about stuff that I wanted to talk about. I don't really attribute it to any one thing. Maybe I just got really lucky. Hold on. My dog's tossing around a toy or something. Hallway just fucking thumping around his toy. What are you doing, man? Fucking gooby. Consistency in YouTube algo? Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like there's a lot of it. I think it's like partly luck, partly being consistent, and partly actually having fun and doing it because I like it. And not because I want to make money or have a lot of clout. Honestly, like, this is gonna sound so funny, but like, I was kind of dreading the shoe collab because it would bring more people to the stream and I'd have to like be more on point and more funny. And it's like, people have an expectation and I felt like weird about it, but I mean, I'll get over it, it's whatever. Yeah. It's just gooby.